Welcome back to my channel for another episode of What's New with Human Design, my weekly Human Design Transit Report. Today is Monday, January 10th, and tomorrow the Sun will move again into the gate 61 and the Earth will move into the gate 62. The Sun moving into the gate 61 joins Pluto, who has been there for months. It's going to be leaving soon, but Pluto has been there for many months, just lighting up that gate of wonder, of mystery. It's the beginning of the knowing circuit right here at the top of the head. It's the place where we plug directly into superconsciousness and we are receiving divine downloads and understandings that are coming from the creative intelligence of the universe. So Pluto, being the god of the underworld and the one who is all about death and rebirth and death and rebirth and death and rebirth, has been really lighting this up and encouraging us to throw away the old confines that we've had that have made us think that logic is the only way to know things, that it is the definitive answer to everything. And so we've been burning that up, and we've been seeing, even while we've had a lot going on with science lately, given that the COVID pandemic, we've also seen a lot of debate about science. And I'm not saying that Pluto lighting this up is saying throw out science, but it is also about putting science into context. And in the human design system, that would mean in the context of also the knowing circuit and also the sensing circuit. And so the information that we get from the 61 and from the knowing circuit can help us to balance out the logical, analytical, often very cerebral way of understanding our world and who we are and what's true and what's real, with something that is directly plugged into superconsciousness that is more abstract. It's often more visual or imagistic. It's more of a kind of a complete sense of something rather than linear. And so it's a very different kind of energy. If you've been watching these for a while, you've heard me talk about the knowing circuit quite a bit. We also have the 61 is connected to the 24 right now, creating a complete channel that is defining both the head and the ajna. And so when that happens, we're getting a lot of activity up here. Sometimes there's a lot of thinking that's going on because the ajna is about thinking, but because it's coming in through the knowing circuit, this is not necessarily analytical thinking, although the ajna tends to go that way. But still, this is more about really being able to receive in farther than just kind of dropping inspiration in, but bringing it all down into our thinking mind as well. Neptune's been lighting up that gate 24 for a while, so this isn't a brand new configuration this week, but because the Sun is now moving into that 61, it's bringing even more attention and more energy to that 61. But because the Sun is now moving into that gate, it's bringing a lot more attention to that 61 than when we just had Pluto and Neptune there lighting that up for a while. And so this gives you even more opportunity to be diving into the intuition that the 61 provides you with. My recommendation is not to reject anything that comes in during this time. Write it down, talk to other people about it, reach out to the people in your life and find out what they're receiving through that 61. It could be a fun game to play about what kind of breakthrough ideas or what really wacky outside things there are that are coming in that you can just play around with. Be open. Don't think you need to make decisions or you have to come down definitively with anything. Just do your best to be perceptive and receptive and to see what comes in. And if you notice that you have resistance, try to just let it go. Don't allow the old way of thinking to get in the way of new possibilities to arise for you. And remember, just because you have a new download come in doesn't need to turn around and act on it immediately. You can take it and mull it over and see how it is until you get more of a sense of, yeah, this is actually something that I want to do something with it. That's why writing it down or drawing with it or playing around in conversation with other people people in a lighthearted kind of way can just open up possibilities, which is really the 61 is all about opening up possibilities. And that's why it's, now the gate of wonder in quantum human design. And just to unleash yourself from what you may have felt were some of kind of your constraints about what you think the reality is, or how reality works, or what's possible and what's not possible. And you might get some really delicious and new surprises. The Earth is moving into the gate 62, which is on the throat center, and it's part of the logic circuit. And so the logic circuit is analytical, it's more linear, it's left-brained, it's strategic, and all of those things. And so it's quite different than the knowing circuit. So we've got a little bit of tension here just between what the sun is lighting up and what the earth is lighting up. And you want to be able to dance with that tension, if you will. Don't think that you have to come down on, this one is right, this one is wrong. It's not about that at all. It's more about, what does this one have to offer, and what does this one have to offer? In the I Ching, which is where all of the gates come from, is from the I Ching. It's called the preponderance of the small, which I think is kind of a hilarious name. And in traditional human design, it's known as the gate of details, right? It's about the small. If you think about how that works, right? The details and the preponderance of the small. And it's often thought of as the kind of energy for being very detail oriented, that people who need to work with, numbers or figures or, programming or things like that would do really well with this 62 energy. And that makes sense, being in the logic circuit, that it would be about that, right? Being really attending to details. Also, the logic circuit is known as the pattern circuit in quantum human design. And so that attention to detail, right, can help us to see the patterns and where patterns might be off and how we might want to work to bring the pattern more into alignment. In quantum human design, Karen Curry Parker has renamed the 52 as preparation, which I find very interesting. It's about the ability to be receiving what's coming in through, it's on the other side of the head, it's coming in through the left brain and crossing over, coming down through the right side of the body. And it's preparing for what is next. So it's taking in that information that's coming in through the neutrino stream, in through the left side of the head, and then saying, okay, what do I need to prepare for? That this information is coming in, and before we move forward with it, right? What do I need to prepare for? Now, detail can help us to become more aware of what we need to prepare for. It can help us to become more attuned to the specificity of different things than we might be otherwise. And so you want to also trust that you're going to know how to prepare, that you are prepared as you prepare. You don't want to let this become a kind of neurotic over preparation type of a thing, over detailed, over looking at things, feeling like you're never going to have enough detail or enough specificity to fully be prepared. So you want to watch out for that. That can be a little bit of a neurotic place that you can go with this energy. You just want to be paying attention to what is actually significant, even though it might be detailed. And you want to trust that you're going to know how to prepare the way that you need to, at the time that you need to. And you can use this while the earth is doing this here, is really grounding kind of in preparation. It's a great energy to have here at the beginning of the year, right? Is to be going, what do I need to prepare for 2022 to be my best year yet? What do I need to prepare? What can I ground myself in so that I know that I have the foundation that I need in order to be able to have the year that I am really longing for and that I'm intending to have? And that will provide a kind of grounding force for these breakthrough ideas that are going to be coming in, that the sun is lighting up, that might actually have you feel a little ungrounded or a little unprepared for, new ideas that are coming in, that you're like, wow, what am I going to do with that? I'm not even beginning to be prepared for that. So you can have a really nice dynamic tension, creative tension between these two as you are allowing yourself to trust that you'll be prepared for taking action on some of these breakthrough ideas that come in when you need to do that. A last note here about the 61, I just in my belly, okay, in my sacral and in my being, and I feel that it's through that 61 that we're going to be receiving the understanding about how we can actually make the changes that we need to be making here on planet Earth right now with all of the different challenges that we have. And that it's not going to primarily come through the logic circuit. If we think about the dynamic tension here, we can have this breakthrough idea come in, and then we can ask ourselves, what do we need to prepare in order to be able to actually really implement this breakthrough idea that we're getting? And that is more strategic. It is more analytical. So we need both sides of it. We need to have that logical part not dismiss what those breakthrough ideas are because you can't necessarily prove it. You don't know where it came from. It just dropped into your body, mind, and spirit, and there it is. Or you heard about that from someone else, because remember, everybody's going to be having this even more during this transit. But to ponder about how can we actually prepare, for example, to have all electrical cars and to maybe even dramatically reduce our use of cars and have a lot more trains and to use e-bikes a lot more. What would we need to do to prepare in order for our world to start operating more that way? You could think about things that are important for you. Like, what would we need to do to prepare in order to remove some of the dams that are harming the wild rivers and the ecosystems that are most significant? What would we need to do to prepare in order for that to happen? Both in terms of how do we replace the energy that would be lost from that, but then also how would we actually even help to recreate the ecosystem there? Like, how would we do that? Or let's say there's some impact that you want to make in the political sphere, and you've gotten a great new idea about how that can happen, or someone has shared one with you, and you can start pondering, well, what do I need to do to prepare in order for me to create coalitions and collaborate with others in order to bring that about? This is a great time to be using both of those together. And like I said, it's not that you have to immediately take action on it. Preparation doesn't mean you're immediately taking action. It does mean that you're moving more into a state of readiness, and you're also just thinking it through a little bit more, because these breakthrough ideas don't always have legs down in the physical world or in ordinary reality, because that's, they just got dropped in from, the creative intelligence of the universe. And so we have to create some legs for them so that they have feet, or roots down into the earth. And the 62 can help us do that. One more comment about something that's been going on since last September, but is going to end very soon, which is that the nodes of the moon have been lighting up the 3420, which is the channel of the manifesting generator, known as the channel of charisma or of responsive power. And that's going to go away by January 22nd. So that energy has been providing a lot of extra power for those of us who don't have that channel and who are not manifesting generators. And some of us may feel a real deflation in energy after that, like, whoa, I suddenly don't have a lot of energy to be doing certain things, particularly projectors or reflectors, potentially also manifestors. But, any of us can feel it. And so I just want to, in the spirit of preparation, prepare you that might be the case. And so you can not be blindsided by it when it happens, and you be looking at your schedule so that maybe you can set yourself up so that it's not a big deflation for you. And also potentially to get some things done between now and then while you still have that manifesting generator energy running through your system. Just a reminder, if you're fairly new to human design, I have an ebook series of getting started with human design and the reflection journal that can really help you get started with human design. It'll lead you through some of the fundamentals. It's full color, very illustrative. A lot of things with human design are lots of words, words, words. And I like having the images. It'll help you to know what you're looking at when you're looking at your human design chart, what the names of the pieces are. It'll tell you about definition and openness, the centers, the incarnation cross. And so I invite you to go and get that. It's completely free. My gift to you, and the URL is right here, and it'll be in the description too. Many blessings, much love.